In the shimmering blue of the Adriatic Sea, not far from the glitzy, sun-soaked shores of Dubrovnik, there's an island no one talks about. Tourists pass it by, locals avoid it, and if you Google it, the search results, they're chilling. Because what happened here, on Daksa Island, wasn't just a haunting, it was a massacre, and some say the victims never left. But this isn't just another ghost story. This is about betrayal, bloodshed, and a silence so heavy it echoes through the bones of a crumbling monastery. And what's more disturbing, people who visit often report the same thing. Voices in the wind, shadows with no source, and an overwhelming urge to leave. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and haunted places in Europe, the cursed ruins of Daksa Island. Daksa Island is really small. You could walk its entire perimeter in under an hour, and at first glance, it's beautiful. Mediterranean pine trees, clear waters, ruins of an old Franciscan monastery standing silent against the sky. But behind that silence is something sinister. Historically, Daksa's only real use was spiritual. In the 13th century, monks built a peaceful monastery there. It was a place of prayer, solitude, and retreat. But that peace wouldn't last. During World War II, the island's fate changed, abruptly and violently. In 1944, as the Axis powers began to collapse, Yugoslav partisans, communist-led resistance fighters, stormed the region. Dubrovnik was liberated, but liberation came with blood. Dozens of people suspected of collaborating with the Nazis, or even just being politically inconvenient, were rounded up, and many of them were taken to Daksa. They were executed without trial. Their bodies were dumped in mass graves. For decades, no one talked about it. No one acknowledged what happened. Until 2009, when the graves were finally found. But here's the thing. Locals knew about them long before the bodies were discovered. They just wouldn't talk about it. The event became known as the Daksa Massacre. In late October 1944, at least 53 people were executed on Daksa Island. The victims included priests, intellectuals, politicians, and civilians. One of the most notable was Father Peter Perica, a beloved Catholic priest known for writing religious hymns. Witnesses said the accused were given no trials, no formal charges, just accusations, then death. After the killings, the partisans left, and the island fell into disuse. The monastery was abandoned. Nature began reclaiming the buildings, and Daksa became known as the Island of Ghosts. For decades, people stayed away. Fishermen wouldn't dock there. Locals refused to go near it. The Croatian government didn't officially investigate until 2009, when remains were finally exhumed. But by then, the legends had already taken root. Even before the mass graves were found, stories of the supernatural were circulating. People claimed to see shadowy figures walking the beach at night, lights flickering in the ruins, strange whispers carried on the sea breeze. Some claimed to hear prayers in Latin. A local fisherman, interviewed in the 90s, said his boat's motor died every time he got within 100 meters of the island. He swore he saw someone standing near the old monastery. When he called out, the figure vanished. Another tale comes from a pair of amateur photographers in 2003 who visited Daksa to shoot abandoned architecture. Within minutes of stepping ashore, they both reported the same sensation, being watched. One claimed he heard footsteps behind him the entire time, though no one else was on the island. Their photos, blurry, distorted. Several files became corrupted with no explanation. But it doesn't end there. Among the 53 executed, Father Peter Perica's death became the focal point of many hauntings. Known for composing beloved hymns still sung today, he was regarded as a peaceful, kind-hearted figure. His violent death, shot without trial, was seen by many as a kind of spiritual rupture. Locals began to say his spirit was restless. Multiple visitors claimed to have seen a man in a priest's robe walking the monastery grounds, vanishing behind crumbling stone walls. Some even said he appeared to be praying. In 2010, during a small memorial held on the island, a reporter claimed her audio recorder captured chanting in Latin, but only when she neared the area where Perica's remains were found. The audio reportedly vanished from the recorder days later. Today, Daksa is uninhabited. The ruins of the monastery still stand, and while the island is technically accessible, few people choose to visit. There's no tourist ferry, no tours. Only the occasional daring kayaker or urban explorer dares to set foot there. In recent years, several paranormal investigators have filmed short documentaries on Daksa. Many report the same things: tech malfunctions, sudden drops in temperature, audio anomalies, feelings of dread. One team from Italy claimed their spirit box repeatedly said the word pomozi, Croatian for help me. They left that night and never returned. There's a psychological theory called place memory. It suggests that certain locations hold a kind of emotional imprint from traumatic events. Daksa might be one of those places. People who've set foot on the island describe a heavy, almost suffocating silence. Some say they've burst into tears without knowing why. Others describe vivid dreams the night after returning, often of execution lines and chanting. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Daksa has all the ingredients for a true haunting. Violent history, forgotten victims, silence, and secrets still buried in the soil. So, would you ever visit? They say time heals all wounds, but maybe some places, some tragedies, don't want to be healed. Daksa Island remains abandoned. The monastery crumbles. The sea continues to lap the shores. And if you listen closely, very closely, you might just hear the wind whispering secrets no one was ever supposed to tell. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone brave enough to hear it. Also leave a comment if you know any interesting stories that you want me to cover. And remember, the past is never truly gone. It's always waiting to be discovered.